This is another quote by my teacher, Pila. The question is, who are you? This is the first step in entering the indigenous holistic mind. No elder or ceremony can continue until one is able to answer this question. Knowledge is considered to be a living entity. We ask permission to enter her, and we must be able to specify our name, nation, clan, and have a clear question or reason for wanting to enter. So let me start over and introduce myself. My name is Teresa McCall, and my ancestors are the Celts from Ireland and Scotland, Clan Culla and Clan Carthay. And I also have Pict ancestry. Old pictures of my family, the McCalls, Clan Culla, my sister Kathleen, me, my brother Bob, my mom Elaine, and my father Hugh. So McCall means children of call in Old Irish. It means children of call. And in Old Irish, call means hazel. So I'm the Hazel clan. And in Ireland, the salmon of wisdom would eat the magical hazelnuts, and it would make them wise. And there's a story of a boy named Finn McCool and the salmon of wisdom. And I've seen it spelled McCall, too. But the story goes, Finn goes to learn poetry from a bard named White Wisdom. And White Wisdom, he'd been searching for the salmon of wisdom for 7 years. And he finally catches the salmon. And when he catches it, he gives it to Finn. He says, here, cook the salmon for me, but don't eat any of it. The salmon is for me. I'm to gain the wisdom of the salmon. And so Finn cooks the salmon, and of course, as he's cooking it, he accidentally burns his thumb on the salmon and immediately sticks his thumb in his mouth. And so he accidentally gains the wisdom of the salmon, which is a common story. Wisdom comes to the innocent, not those who are seeking it. And also, so he ends up gaining the gift of prophecy. He can see the future. And this is also just a really common theme to the Celts, the sight, the gift of prophecy, being able to see. And it comes to the dream seers. You can see through your dreams. And I have that. I have prophetic dreams or prophetic waking dreams. That's a lot of times been really hard for me, but being able to have this community of dreamers that I've been working with has helped me to have a nice container, and the elders that I've worked with, to learn how to hold this. So it's in my family name to be a dreamer, a seer. And the other coincidence, most of my adult life I've worked with fish. I worked at UC Davis with fish. I've worked for the Department of Water Resources, fishing game. So I've been on the river. This is actually fishing for sturgeon for you when I worked at UC Davis. And these are the sturgeon. It was like the last project I worked on. I actually led this project working a fish passage, building fish ladders for sturgeon. And when I worked with these fish, just my heart broke open. I fell in love with these fish. And it was hard because Western science teaches you to disconnect from your emotions. Let's take data, blah, blah, blah. And Western science is not bad, but I was crying. I was just so in love with these fish. I couldn't disconnect from my emotions. And then so I had this experience with this one sturgeon, actually, that just kind of changed everything and kind of changed my direction of where I was going. I came into the lab one day at Davis, and I found the sturgeon belly up. They had a bloated swim chamber, and so we called the veterinarian on campus, and they said, oh, well, nothing we can do. It's going to die. And I'm like, what do you mean it's going to die? That's what we do, right? Just let it die. And I thought, you know what? If my belly was swollen, I'd want someone to rub my belly. So I was like, okay, and I got into the tank like 3 or 4 times a day, made people take pictures, and I held the sturgeon. Well, they have sharp scoots too that can, so I'm holding it like a baby and just rubbing its belly, and I did this for over like a day and a half. And eventually it released the gas, sank to the bottom, and turned over, and it lived. So I was like, and I just was like, okay. I just was really upset. So I would spend time with these fish and just talk to them and listen to them. And these fish had been around for 250 50 million years, I think that's right. Since the time of the dinosaurs. And I was like, wow, you have so much wisdom. You know. Talk to me. I need help. And they spoke to me and said, you need to do something else. Western science isn't bad, but your work is a different way. You have to go find it. I'm like, okay. So this is actually, the fish were the ones that led me to do this work through another, series of synchronicities. I'm part of the work in the Indigenous Mind program. We're studying indigenous science. So just like Western science, indigenous science relies upon direct observation. But unlike Western science, the data from indigenous science are not used to control the forces of nature. Instead, the data tells us ways and means of accommodating nature. And so that's a lot of my work that I'm doing. I'm just learning, what does that mean? How can I bring this into the world? In 1855, Chief Seattle warned the white European settlers of America that when the secret corners of the forest are heavy with the scent of many men, it would signal the end of living and the beginning of survival. And those American settlers had forgotten their own native tradition in favor of a religion that taught man he must be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish in the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. This view of the natural environment denied there is any spirit in nature. So I decided I needed to find who my people are, and that's part of the work. I went in the program in 2004. I went home. I went to Ireland and Scotland on my ancestral journey. The island of Mull, where the McCalls last were, before they were cleared off the land. And this is in Ireland, where on my Scottish ancestry on my father's side and Irish on my mother's. So the tribe, though, is Celt. And so that's what I'm looking at, is my Celtic tribe. And what I find? Lots of water, lots of people that fish. And so there's that part that's still deep within me. This is the Celtic tree of life. Tirnanag and Tirnamo, land of the living, land of the afterlife. Surround the tree of life whose roots and branches intertwine. And this is from a pre-Christian Ireland. To the ancient Celts, the realms of the other world were in full view at all times. So that's, this tree of life just shows, the waking world, the dream world, the realm of the ancestors, the Sidhe or the fairies. Everything coexisted at the same time. It's not separate. So that's part of my work too, is just that's reconnecting with my indigenous Celtic ancestors and honoring the dreams too that are the waking and the sleeping world. And that's it. But I guess I end with, as an action that I could take as part of my prayer from my work that I've done in the Indigenous Mind program, and with the fish coming to me, and maybe as a responsibility to my ancestors, I started what I call the Salmon Wisdom Healing Project, and that's my blog. You can check it out. Just doing my own healing work and taking care of myself so that I can connect and heal with the larger environment. And that also means connecting with all of you. So thank you very much.